Here with Professor Robert Drysdale at Jiu-Jitsu CON. You just taught a seminar for the second straight year with your student Amy Campo. How'd the seminar go?
I think it went well. I always have a lot of fun teaching with Amy. Last year I taught one with Amy. I was surprised how good of an instructor she is. It was the first time I've trained with her a bunch. I've had her in class a bunch, but it was the first time I saw her teach, so I was very impressed. And always have a lot of fun. You know, I think my favorite thing is just meeting new people and seeing old friends. I think that's my favorite thing about Jiu-Jitsu CON in general. I'm just privileged and honored to be able to share some of my experience with other practitioners, some old faces, some new faces. So I think overall it's just a big celebration of Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm very proud to be a witness and a participant in the ceremony that is, at this point, it's like, it's practically, it's Mecca, you got to come here, you got to be here. If you're part of the Jiu-Jitsu family, you need to be here. I'm just really proud and happy to be part of the party.
So you're also doing a book signing. You have a booth here. The Rise and Evolution of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of the books that you're signing. How's the reception been for that book so far? It's been out for a little while, so I feel like you've probably gotten some feedback at this point.
Yes, this one was a lot more work than the first. I think it's a little bit of a heavier read, but a little more informative. I think overall it's a better book. Most people who read both thought the second one was a little bit better, I think it's more relatable too, because it talks about the importance of Carlson Gracie, how Vale Tudo MMA helped shape Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a heavy influence, not just of judo, which is something I had ignored in the first book. I added the input of MMA into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu rule set, how the point system was meant to mimic situations in a real fight where you can, strike down on your opponent. Talk about the rivalries in the 70s and 80s, a very heavy political scene, and it's impossible not to talk about it because it gave political coloring to what we now call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The birth of IBJJF, the role of Carlos Gracie Jr. and Marcelo Siriema and Andre Fernandes and all this, I think it's very underestimated because they're still around, so we tend to overlook people who are still amongst us, but I think it's very significant. I just wanted to do my part in helping register the moment. I think there's a lot of information out there, and information is always, I think completely unbiased information is almost impossible, but I did my best. I know I came from a good place. If I didn't do a better job being unbiased, it was lack of competence, not lack of want. So it might be incompetence, but not I'm pretty sure I knew where my heart was from the beginning, and I think we have as close as possible an accurate depiction of how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu evolved over time from judo and Vale Tudo all the way to where we're now.
Carlos, Elio, Carlson, and Holes are being honored at this event. There's some amazing artwork of them all over the place. What do you think about them being honored, and have you had a chance to check out some of the artwork?
I have. I thought it was great. I thought it was beautiful. I think they deserve it, man. It's easy to look back at these guys and go, oh yeah, they were they were always there. And when you read the history, you have a new appreciation for it and I think this is the most incredible thing of this whole story and the biggest feat, not only the Gracie family, but the Gracie family is lead protagonists in it, was that for 50 years, no one cared. Now imagine you have a business that doesn't sell, no one cares, no one's paying attention, but you believe that one day it's gonna pay out. Man, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. It's crazy. You have a business that's failing for 50 years, and you have a competitor with a different model called judo that is succeeding. It's super popular, it's in the Olympics, it's got sponsors, it's got the private sector investing, it's on television, it's huge.